What's up, guys? Steve here with BlackFly. As some of you guys know, I'm a beginner fly tyer, and I've been working with that vintage vise that I think my grandpa gave it to me years ago, and it just doesn't clamp onto the really small, tiny fly hooks. It still works pretty good for my bass jigs, for making flipping jigs and you know, tying chatterbait skirts and spinnerbait skirts and stuff like that. But for the really small flies, I needed a good rotary vise. I didn't want to spend more than like 150 bucks. I know a lot of people say they like the Orvis Renzetti, and recently I had the opportunity to try my buddy's Peak rotary vise, and I thought, wow, this is a huge step up from what I've been using. So I'm gonna unbox this Peak vise, go over a couple things with it, and then we'll tie a fly or we'll tie a jig or something, but that'll be towards the end of the video. But anyways, guys, I appreciate you tuning in. I'm sorry I haven't made a video in a long time. I've been really busy with fourth quarter with my brand and stuff, BlackFlyCreations. But anyways, guys, yeah, let's get to it. Let's unbox this vise. Okay, guys, so the model that I got is the Peak rotary vise. This is part number PRV G2. I believe there's only two models. The difference is it either comes with the base, a pedestal base, or it comes with a C-clamp. And because I've already got a C-clamp back here that hopefully should be compatible, we'll check. I opted to go with the base. And one thing that I really like is that it's made in the USA. I believe these are made in Colorado. And of course, guys, the price tag, $150, $499. That was in my budget. It also comes with limited lifetime warranty, which is cool. So let's check it out. So let's open it up. Slide this over here. So it comes with some instructions. One thing that I like about the vise that I read is that you can, if you ever need to replace your jaws, let's say you drop it or you damage them in any way, they are removable. You can also remove the pivot shaft, and all these parts are replaceable through Peak. And they've got all their contact information here that comes in the box, and which is cool. So we got an Allen wrench, and we've got a set screw here. Let's kind of take everything out of the box one at a time. It had a whole bunch of popcorn in the box, and I took all that out. So here's the vise. Real nice and finely machined. The jaws have a really nice fine point. I read that it will hold hooks size 28 all the way up to a 4/0 hook, which is great for me because I tie a lot of bass jigs, and I also like to tie flies. Don't tie too many size 28s, but because I'm half blind. But here's your bobbin cradle with the cool Peak logo. And then here is the base. One thing that I'd like to mention that I read is that you want to get a heavy base. You want at least, I would say, from what I read, you want at least a 4-pound base. And I believe this is a little over 4 pounds, but let's weigh it. Let that scale zero out here. And we're at 4 pounds, 14 ounces. That's great. Nice heavy base. So having a heavy base obviously is an advantage, because when you're tying, you know, the vise isn't going to rock back and forth. That's if you opt to go for the base. You can also opt to go for a C-clamp. So it comes with a little Allen wrench, and a screw. So you have 3 different holes, and each one of these holes are threaded, so that way you can place your pedestal vise in any of the holes that you prefer. The bottom has 4 little rubber foot pegs. It's got your peak fishing information, or peak contact information. It's got a little countersunk dish for your beads, or set your hooks so that way they don't roll around, go flying off on the floor like 90% of mine do. So you just set it in, put it in the hole that you prefer. Take your Allen wrench and tighten it down, but I'll do that later. I don't want to bore you guys. So then the next thing you do is put your bobbin cradle in, and that just slides in. One thing I'd like to mention, guys, is I knew this prior to purchasing this vise, and that is that it comes with these nylon screws. They're a heavy nylon and they work, but Peak also sells a brass screw that matches this brass here that would last forever. And I'll probably keep these for a while and then pick up a set of the brass ones. They're really cheap. They're only like $6-7 or something on Amazon, but I'll link them down below in case you guys want to pick some of these up. I know I'm gonna get me some. So this screw is just for your bobbin cradle, and they've got nice deep threads on them. So you can tighten that to hold your cradle firm. This slides up and down, or you can leave just a little bit of tension on it, so that way you can slide it out of the way. You've also got a rotary screw right here, so if you want to put a little tension, keep your vise at an angle, you can. If you like it like that, you can keep it in that position, and it's not going to go anywhere. Or you can just put a little bit of tension on it, so that if you want to move your vise, you can, and you can see that it holds in place. Another thing that I like about this vise is, if you see right here, that's a set screw. You can remove this. You can remove this shaft. You can take this out. You can take this out. You can take this handle off. Most importantly, you can replace your jaws if they're ever damaged. I'm really impressed with how finely these are machined. They've got a real fine point on them. Okay, so one thing I want to show you guys out there that are beginners, that's nice about having a rotary vise that's also got an angled head, is that your center point, your fly is going to stay in the same position. It's going to stay right at that center point. So you'll be able to feed your fly materials, you know, really nice and easily without your fly going up and down and around. You don't want it doing that. So let's take this off and let's see if it fits the C-clamp. I already took the old vise out. I'll take you can do one of two things. You can just take the bobbin cradle out, slide that down in there, and then you can, if you're clamped to the edge of a table, you can adjust this up and down however you need, but then you just slide your cradle up onto the bottom, and yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I'm gonna enjoy this vise. It's gonna be nice for tying flies and jigs. But anyways, guys, that's it. Stay tuned, because we're gonna tie a fly next, or we'll tie a jig, and I'll show you guys how the vise works and give you my opinions of it. But yeah, guys, this is Steve from BlackFly, signing out. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thanks for tuning in. The new Peak vise. I'm really digging this vise.